Hi Capricorn, happy early birthday to those of you who celebrate in December, and welcome to your Astrology 33 bonus love reading for December 2019. Thank you to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you who are interested in booking a personal reading with me, I actually won't be offering those until around the second week of December, so just keep an eye out on the channel. I'll make an announcement when I figure out when that'll be, but like I said, most likely somewhere in that second week. Alright, as far as what we have in front of us, this is what I call the bridging the gap spread, and the way it works is on the left side we have your energies towards the connection with your main love interest. On the right side we have their energy toward the connection. These are the past energies, present energies, future energies. And once we get through those, we'll actually pull some oracle cards to get some additional insight on the situation. That's where the bridging the gap dynamic comes into play. And as for the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot, on the right side we have the Tarot of Sexual Magic. Alright, so with that out of the way, starting with the past position on your side, we have the Seven of Coins. So this is the equivalent of the Seven of Pentacles, which is technically a Taurus energy, which is your fifth house. And what sticks out to me with this card is the two people, how it looks like, she's looking at a child, right? So maybe this is saying that this is someone you might have viewed as a bit childish in the past. And maybe, especially since Taurus is your fifth house too, this could just be saying that you actually might have a lot of fun with them on the one level, right? And you think to yourself, all right, it's a fun connection, maybe it's very playful, but you might be considering if you want to continue to invest in a connection because you're like, all right, well, this is fun and all, but can I take them seriously to actually take the relationship to the next level, right? So that could be what's going on, where maybe in the past you were reevaluating it and thinking to yourself, well, maybe this is about as far as the connection can go. For some of you, and I feel like this is a lot less likely, but for some of you, you could be trying to decide if you wanted to try to have a child with the person that you're with. Maybe you're like, all right, we've been together. Just a generic example. You're like, all right, we've been together for 7 years. Maybe we should take that next step, right? But yeah, for most of you, I feel it's more of the first scenario, which is to say that, maybe you just view them as a bit more immature. Maybe they're even just a little bit behind you in some way, shape, or form, even if you guys are the same age. Maybe you're more ahead in your career than they are, for example. And maybe you're just evaluating, okay, do I want to continue this connection or not? Past energy on their side is the Four of Wands, which is an Aries energy. So for some of you, you could be dealing with an Aries. But I mean, even in this energy, which is definitely a good energy, it's an energy of combination of Mars and Jupiter energy is the way I see it, which is like, it's taking action and you get that little bit of luck and expansion around it as well. But even if we look at it this way, they're on the swing, right? So that almost makes me think of the childish theme that we were talking about with your card. So it could just be saying that this is just how you view them. And like I said, it could just be that they bring a very fun and playful vibe to the connection that maybe you enjoy on a certain level, but it could just be where you're thinking to yourself, well, can I take this person seriously to advance the connection to that next level? Present energy on your side, we have wisdom, and this is actually the equivalent of the High Priestess card in traditional tarot, and that for me is a Pisces energy. So there's not really much going on in Pisces right now, but what this can be pointing to is the fact that pretty much a few days before December starts, we're going to have that new moon in Sagittarius, which for you guys, that's your 12th house. So it can just be saying around that time, you might just really be trying to rely on your intuition to say, all right, do I really, can I trust this person to go to the next level with me or not? So maybe it's even saying that you're not communicating with them very much. For some of you, this can't even just be pointing to the fact that maybe some of you are in school right now, and maybe this was even part of what that Seven of Coins was about too, where you're like, okay, well, this is as far as I could get in my career right now. Maybe I need to re-enroll in school to get to that next level, So maybe that's what that was all about as well. But yeah, for a lot of you, I think it's just more that you're really trying to rely on your intuition regarding the connection itself. Can be a combination of those energies too, though. All right, present energy on their side, we have the Six of Swords, So this is actually an Aquarius energy here, and usually represents moving on, can represent travel. So let's say maybe this is even someone you might have met in school, right? Maybe you guys are both in college, and maybe you're on your way out or in grad school, and this person was a freshman or something, just as a generic example. Maybe just saying that they don't live in the same city as you. So maybe they're either traveling to you or they're traveling away from you. And it could just be around the holidays, maybe, all right, they're going back home for the holidays, right? Or they're somewhere else now, and you guys, so going home would be that they would be in the same city as you, or it could be flipped the other way around, where they are in the same city as you normally, but now, okay, we're going away for the holidays. Um, and then, you got to look at the artwork here as well, so it's a little bit different. So for you guys, Aquarius is your second house. So well, that's more Taurus energy we're seeing there too. So maybe this is someone that has both Aries and Taurus placements. But what this could even be pointing to is this could be pointing to the new moon eclipse that's going to take place in your sign towards the end of December. And that's actually going to be trine Uranus, which is the ruler of Aquarius. So there could be some significance to that new moon eclipse for you guys too, or maybe you might make some kind of decision around the connection at that point. I'm trying to think if anything else comes to mind. Well, and given that this is an Aquarius energy too, maybe that's part of it, right? Like maybe you guys have like a bit of a friends with benefits type of dynamic going on. And whenever you might try to discuss with them, maybe making it a more formal commitment, maybe they, get a little bit skittish, right? That could be what's going on with the Six of Swords energy there. In the future position, we have the Nine of Arrows. So equivalent to the Nine of Swords. And this could just be saying you're really trapped in your head about the whole situation. And like I said, that could be primarily, if not, even not just the new moon in Sagittarius, but just having a lot of energy in your 12th house can have you really trapped in your head to an extent. So that could be what's at play here. And this could, again, be you really trying to decide, all right, do I want to take the next step with this person or not? And it could even be, if we look at the way it looks like the angel's reaching out with an arrow there, it could even just be saying that maybe intuitively you do feel drawn to this person, but like logically, right? If we think about the Pentacles level representing the logic, the stability, on a logical level, you just don't see it working out, So it could be that pull that you feel in between. All right, emotionally you feel pulled to them, but on the practical level, you're like, all right, well, I don't really see this going anywhere. So that could be where you might be getting trapped in your head about the whole situation. And future energy on their side. This card wants to cooperate with me. There we go. We have the Ace of Pentacles. So usually what I say with the Ace energies, especially with the traditional tarot, is it represents something that's more in the idea stage as opposed to them actually physically offering something. But here we can see it might play out a little bit more physically too if we take this artwork into consideration. But what this does say is that they might actually make you a more serious practical offer. So that could be what's at play there. And even it might even work, opposite, where they make the offer to you first. And because you've been doing all this thinking, that might, make you freak out a bit and get trapped in your head. Like, okay, do I want to take this offer with them or not? Because maybe even we're a bit dismissive of them. Like, yeah, you know what? They're just going to be this way forever. And I'm not even really going to think about it. But then in the future, they might actually surprise you and come through with an offer of something a bit more stable, and you might at that point be like, all right, well, now I don't know what to do. Bottom of the deck on your side, we have the Four of Coins. So this actually is a Capricorn energy here. It represents the last 10 degrees of Capricorn, and usually represents being a bit closed off. And what this can be pointing to here is I'm thinking about how it looks like she's sitting there, and then this looks like a person that's not actually physically present. It's more like a ghost. So I don't think it's someone who's passed on necessarily, but just this can represent the idealized version of the person you would expect to be with, and that could be what's on your mind. You're like, well, this is the type of person I see myself with, then obviously, you might not view this person that way. Again, you might think that they're a little bit too playful and you can't take them as seriously. So that could be what's at play there, where you're like closing off a little bit because you're like, all right, I don't really see this going any further. And interestingly enough, beneath that, we actually have the Three of Coins, which usually shows two people. It looks like they're having someone rather build something for them. But here we see it's a very different energy. It's one person alone with the Three Pentacles, right? And it looks like, she doesn't look too happy. So can just be how you're feeling about the situation, like, all right, I can't build anything stable with this person. And like I said, emotionally and maybe physically, the attraction's there, but you feel like you can't get over that hump, no pun intended, where you're trying to think to yourself, well, I just don't see it happening on a practical level. So you might be kind of closing yourself off to the connection, but still feeling that pull to them. All right, and then bottom of the deck on their side is Two of Wands. So this is more Aries energy. So you could definitely be dealing with an Aries. And then this is taking on that initiative type vibe too, right? So again, this could definitely point to similar to the energy we see there with the Ace of Pentacles, which is to say that even if you guys have separated in some way, shape, or form, whether it's just, physical, geographical distance, or maybe you're, really just trying to reevaluate if you want to continue the connection or not, this can represent that they would try to initiate something with you guys. So that could be what that's pointing to. All right. Next, we'll see if we can get any additional messages with the Oracle cards. So first, I'll see if we can get anything with the Mystic Moon Oracle deck. And for those of you who haven't seen this type of reading from me before, the way it works is I do pre-shuffle the deck before we start recording. And then what I'm looking for is just jumpers. So I'm looking for first unspoken messages from you to them, and then from them to you. And if I shuffle for a while and nothing comes up, I just take that as a sign to keep moving, since it is just a general reading. I'm not going to, just pull a random card or anything. So see if we get anything from you to them first. All right, nothing coming up yet, but I'll shuffle a little longer. All right, nothing there, so I'll see if we have any from them to you now. All right, nothing coming up here either, but I will give it a few more shuffles before we move on. Yeah, nothing coming up there. All right, so lastly, we'll see if we get anything from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. So basically, same story here. I did pre-shuffle this deck, and I'm just looking for one card here, and then we'll wrap up once we get through that. All right, there we go. I was going to say the Oracle cards are not wanting to cooperate, but here we go. All right, the card you guys got is Peace. There's the artwork for it, and the number is 23. So yeah, I mean, overall with this connection, aside from the anxiety you might have around can you take the next step with them or not, it does seem like things are, seems like you guys get along very well, but it could just be, like I said, you might not see them as long-term commitment material, but let's see what this says. It says, freedom from attachment, radical acceptance. The Oracle's message. It doesn't get any better than this. A quiet mind, a heart fulfilled, freedom from want, and the soul's satisfaction. The way to peace is through radical acceptance. Everything in your world is exactly as it should be. Harmony is beautiful. Enjoy it. So, now that I'm reading that, I'm trying to think back, and it might have been your reading from last month actually that had a similar vibe where it was like, can you take a chance on this person? So, this could just be a continuation of that story for some of you. Assuming that was you, like I said, think it was you, but don't quote me on that. It's been a while. All right, the relationship message says when two people are in true alignment with one another, they have an innate harmony between them. They are as two perfectly tuned instruments playing together. Sometimes it's impossible to tell who is who. Peace is yours and it is to be savored. So, that's a bit of an interesting message there as far as maybe that's part of it too. And like I said, I keep getting that feeling that, like, on an emotional level, or even just, day to day, you guys might get along very well and you might feel like they're a very natural fit for you. But it's more when you do try to look at things from a more practical perspective and you're like, I don't know if I see this adding up. So it could just be one of those things where you're not able to wrap your head around it. Like, okay, yeah, I have a great time with them, we get along well, but as far as keeping them for a long term partner, I don't know if I see that in the cards, right? No pun intended. So that could be what you're saying to yourself. So that could be what it's pointing to there. So it could just be really just asking you to trust, can you continue to go with that or not? So hopefully that resonated for you guys. We'll wrap up there. Once again, happy early birthday to those of you who celebrate in December, and happy holidays. I'll see you guys next year. All right, bye.